Tradition says if it comes from bucking, it'll get that hot, the ground will catch on fire, the bare dirt. And it really did. Like, big trees are down to tiny little sticks is all that's left of them. Orbost itself had 3 fires approaching it. It had the Tosteree fire, we had the Buchan fire, which was coming down the Snowy River towards us and had burnt in Beetlong North, and we had the Yalmy fire, which was coming down sort of from Goonga away. It was quite wide, so we probably had about a 270-degree surround of fire. Basically, the map was saying they were all going to impact Orbost at the same time, and this was the bullseye. The town was effectively the bullseye amongst the 3 fires. It had gone dark and we'd lost power really early in the day, like mid-afternoon. I didn't actually work on the 30th. I'd worked previously on the Saturday, so I'd been at home at the dairy farm, and at about midnight, 1 o'clock, we decided it was time to evacuate the kids. It was no longer safe there for them, so 3 kids, a rabbit, 2 dogs and 6 guinea pigs into the car, into town to my parents-in-law's. And they were on the edge of town, and I could see all the flames pretty much surrounding me and all the ridges on fire. So my parents-in-law lived just down the end of this street. I stood and watched the entire ridge line as far around as I could see. It was on fire, and watched little fire trucks go out. They just got ants headed out here. The spot fires were starting to come into these houses just here. It had actually spotted into town, and thankfully, like, we would have had minutes to spare, like under 10. This wind change come through and just pushed it back on itself. And like, the flames just went, like, they were huge when the wind hit it, because obviously it's fanned it up, and it was crazy scary that it was just there, like probably 4 k's away. Driving up past the relief centre and the ICC, there was just, it felt like hundreds of cars and boats and caravans, the majority of which were tourists. We'd spent that Saturday before the Monday emptying out our camp parks and whatnot, because it was the weekend between Christmas and New Year's, and there was thousands of people here. And you go back now and those places were burnt to the ground, like they would have perished. The Conran fire happened on the 30th of January, I believe. We obviously emptied it, and when the fire comes through, it's just desolate. It's just black. The tea tree still is just starting to grow back 11 months later. Like, it burnt to the beach. There was ash on the beach. So this is Wairua Road, and we're going to head into the little farming valley, and this is where Orbost Patch starts. So O'Grady's Bridge, it's one of the historical railway bridges that burnt during the fires, and this is probably where we had our biggest stock loss. I think they lost 70 head and 11 houses. Orbost response zone is quite a significant parcel of land. The only pockets that didn't burn were the Orbost township, the little suburb of Numaralla, and the Marlow township. So everything else effectively was on fire. We lost thousands and thousands and thousands of kilometres of fencing. Like, I would hate to add it up. There was stock lost, and then fodder. Like, they lost so much fodder, and because we were in a drought and it hadn't rained for the 5 years, fodder was so expensive and so hard to source. Like, you had grown men that were beside themselves and quite upset about how they were going to feed their stock. And we were cut off. We were stuck in Orbost essentially, and we couldn't get out here. So it was probably pretty hard. Like, we couldn't get out to our people for days to weeks, depending on how much the road was impacted and where they were. We had a lot of dealing with very emotional older men that normally wouldn't, they're stoic type people that wouldn't normally be upset by much, and they were absolutely destroyed. They're quite emotionally attached to their animals. They do want the best for them, and to not be able to feed them was quite a stressor at that time. Sam McCaskill from Lake Bolac, he's the one manor over there. That's obviously a grain belt, lots of fodder. He had farmers approach him wanting to donate, so he popped up a post on Facebook thinking, I'll get one B double of fodder and I'll send it somewhere down there. Anyway, he got 16 B doubles of fodder. Truck drivers donated their time, and you know, he rang and he goes, oh, you're the farm crime liaison officer, can you help me out to get this on site? Because these farmers want to see this fodder go to the people who need it. We had a depot in Numaralla, and as the B-doubles are pulling in to deliver it, the army's dropping down with their choppers picking it up, you know, in singles, doubles, like what they could fit in their little nets, and flying it into Combine Bar, where they lost all their houses and Cub Terrace and into Cairn River and Malakuta and Bendock and Tubbut and all these crazy places where there's no way we could have got fodder in, and they've lost everything and they're on, burnt ground and feeding this stock. This is only farmland to a lot of people and probably doesn't look that special to other people that don't live here, but it is pretty special to the people that are here. So when I moved here 12 years ago, I was a young constable and I met my husband who's a dairy farmer, and now we lease a couple of dairy farms and have children, and I work part-time at the police station. So I have this really great balance where I get to go home and play with potty calves and on a couple of thousand acres, and then I get to come to work and be a policeman, and I love both equally. But it also probably gives me a really good position as a stakeholder within the community. Like, I garner a lot of trust from people because they know me in both roles and I'm approachable. So on the night of the 30th of December, we weren't on duty, but we were still running operations through the IPOC and making phone calls, because people reach out to you with, I've got this problem, can you help me? I suppose that's the craziness that we as local policemen had to deal with. We were really lucky. We had a couple of port units initially before that main fire front, and the Nunawading Highway Patrol come in and they were here that night where it was craziness, and they were just amazing. They manned our TMPs and supported us like no tomorrow, because we're such a small unit. It was just awesome to have another small unit have our back. Got quite a great little community, so everyone sort of did help each other out, and if people needed things, we made sure they happened. People from like Colac and Melbourne were ringing going, oh, I've got stuff, the truck will be there at this time, and dropping it off. So our locals here were donating their time to sort it out and get it distributed, and just making sure everyone was okay. 5 to 10 minutes, Orbost would be a very, very different looking place, because they couldn't have saved it all. We were just lucky. There's no other way to explain it. You can't say anything other than sheer luck. When that wind change came, it meant our little town still remains as it is today, and we can help the rest of our outskirts recover.